Okay, we are live and we have the Stevester, Steve from Little Treasury Jewelers, and I'm going to show real quick the banner from the event, and let me make that full screen so
Mhm.
you guys can see it. Um, so it's the Timeout Watch Fair, the original one, and this is Friday, October 13th and Saturday, October 14th. Links are in the description, and you want to go there and you want to RSVP and so forth, and make sure that you're all set up to participate. So that's what's coming up. It's a big event
Okay.
from the Stevester, and Steve is here live to explain what is going to happen on the 13th and the 14th.
Okay. Well, on the 13th, that's Friday the 13th, we are going to
Uh-oh.
kick off at about 11 a.m. and
Mhm.
we will have just about all of our watch brands, and we have 23 of them, will be represented by one of their reps, official reps, and they'll be bringing, to a certain extent, special pieces that we might not have shown in the store before. They will have some goodies to give away, and I can answer all your questions. And especially for Oris watches, we will have their Airstream trailer out in our parking lot. It's a beautiful setup. It's essentially a store with all of their current products in that trailer, and very elegant kind of thing. So that'll be there for both days. And
Mhm.
in the afternoon, we will have shucked oysters under a tent that we have out in the parking lot. We'll have barbecue for attendees, and that will carry over into Saturday afternoon. Also, the goodies for everyone. So on Saturday, well, things wind up on Friday at 6 p.m. In the store. And Saturday, we will open at a little bit after 10 and keep going until 5 p.m. And there might be a slight different mix of vendors. A couple of people cannot attend on Saturday, will attend on Friday, and vice versa. But for the most
Mhm.
part, the majority, big majority, will be on hand. Throughout, we will have some drawings and for door prizes for folks. And on Saturday, our main event is our uh, uh, watch wardrobing contest, which involves people sporting their favorite watch, pairing it with their outfit, their car, their motorcycle, their spouse, whatever. And they pitch it for a couple of minutes, and a pair of judges selects the winner. Usually, we give away a watch in the 2,000 plus dollar range as first prize, and um, second prize, third prize, fourth prize accordingly. So, a lot of fun. Usually, have 20 to 30 people participating, and the outfits get pretty wild and pretty exciting. So.
And
We
what
will
what
have
time is that scheduled
That's
for?
2 o'clock on Saturday. And that will be hosted by the watch writer, blogger, commentary person, Barbara Palumbo, who's a character in her own right, and she will be the MC for that event. And so interesting watch personality, well worth meeting, and she'll be here both days. So make sure you say hi to her if you come to see us. So in addition to our store, the Oris set up in our parking lot, we will be premiering a new location that we've been developing over the past year.
Whoa.
And yeah, and folks who attend will be the first in the door. And I'm not going to reveal too much about it, but I think it's
Okay,
going to be
wait,
pretty.
before you talk anymore, let's catch up on the comments here real quick because I want to hear whatever
Okay.
you're willing to reveal. But let's go to
Okay.
Stig. He says, good evening, Craig and Steve. Everybody, what an event to come. Okay,
Okay.
Stig, let us know in the comments. Are you going to be there? Lost Spring Bar, my guess is he'll be there. I think he's already said he's going to be
Uh-huh.
there. He says, will Grand Seiko be in attendance at the event? Will you have
Yes.
fully stocked showcase of faux pay jewelry?
Yes, good question. The Grand Seiko will be in attendance, and Faux Pay will be represented as well. So we'll have more than our usual full stock of Faux Pay. So for those who haven't joined the Faux Pay Grand Seiko Club, here's the time to do it.
There you
So,
go. And Kyle
hey,
says,
Kyle.
"Hey guys,"
Okay.
and Lost Spring Bar, I'm pairing a recently serviced SBGA 231 with a Hoffman sub topped with hemp seeds and yellow mustard.
Oh, well, good.
Yeah,
Sounds
we'll
appetizing.
we'll see about all that. So I
Yeah.
did put in the lower third, littletreasury.com. You just go there and click on events and go ahead and RSVP right there. And look what I have
Yeah.
on, Steve.
What do you
Can you
have?
see it?
Oh, you have a Faux Pay. Oh, well,
And look
gee.
here.
Gee, Craig.
Look,
Guess
and look
look
here.
there.
Look here.
Oh, yeah, you got the chain. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
You're all
I've
faux
got the
paid out.
chain.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You're in. What are you gonna add
So
this
of
year?
course somebody's trying to call me while I'm in the middle of a live show. I love that.
Oh, don't do
They
that.
can't tell
Yeah.
the way. So okay, you started to talk about a new an addition, uh,
Right.
a set location. Do
A
tell.
separate space. And it's pretty much by appointment only. And we'll have the doors open for this event. And
Okay.
there are a couple of elements. It's going to be some offices for our support people for marketing and our new website that we're desperately trying to get finished, but probably will be not done by the time of the event, but shortly after, we hope. And so
Okay.
we've been very shy of office space for a long time. And so we have a wonderful setup for additional staff to help us out there. And there's a party space, and that might
And
involve. Go ahead. What's the question?
okay, so real on the office space thing, does this mean that you're going to be able to free up some of the space at your original location to have more space for jewelry,
We
or is that
certainly
not in the cards?
There'll be some. Okay.
Okay,
But we've been
good.
very space constrained in the back office for years. And so this is partly relief for that. And we also have a special space for entertainment. And then there's a separate component, which I will leave to be a surprise for the folks that show up.
There, okay. And Lost Spring Bar, will the new space include a dunk tank for Craig? That's the only
Absolutely.
thing missing.
Absolutely. No, we have that. And I'm not quite sure we're going to use the throw to knock them off, but maybe this, some of these
And the
watch cushions.
002, the 002 can handle getting dunked because it's,
Okay,
I think, 30 bar
30
water
bar.
resistant. So
Yeah, the dunk
yeah,
cage is only about 8 feet deep,
yeah.
and
So
we
that'll
put
work
ice
out good.
cubes in it though, keep you awake.
Well, the
Okay.
spring drive is extremely robust. It can handle wide temperature
Uh-huh.
variations.
Yeah.
So that shouldn't be a problem with the spring drive
No,
movement.
I think not.
So tell us about sales. How have sales been lately?
Sales pretty strong today, actually, very strong. And we, as with almost all people in our business, are trying to approximate what we did during the peak of COVID, which was insane. And we're doing a pretty good job at them, sort of watching our numbers as we
Mhm.
close out the third quarter, and we're doing pretty darn well. So interestingly, uh, jewelry sales have rebounded to very high levels, which had been eclipsed somewhat by our watch business for a while. So jewelry going strong. The spectrum of
And
watch brands,
faux pay included in the jewelry. Is it
absolutely,
strong?
very strong. So
And so here's another comment. Does Steve do consignments?
Steve does to a limited degree. Okay, it's not
Okay.
our favorite mode, but we do it as a
And you'll buy
courtesy.
pieces too if it's the right piece, right?
Well, we take them in trade toward new.
Okay.
Okay, so we're primarily a new watch dealer, and do pre-owned as a accommodation to facilitate sales of new for the most part.
So if somebody wants to trade in a Rolex and step up to Grand Seiko, they can trade in their
They can
Rolex
come
and
and
get a
talk
real
to us,
watch.
and yeah, we can do a deal. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's another comment. Unfortunately, I'm in Germany, but I'm
Oh,
dying to watch what Craig is going to do with his camera.
okay.
So yeah, I think we're going to have a video of the wardrobing contest, correct?
We are, but I'd like to see if we can figure out do some live activity too. If you're game,
Well, we can try. We've tried that
well,
before.
it might be better set up
Hopefully.
for it now.
Okay, good.
So,
Hopefully, yeah, maybe we'll do some of that.
yeah,
And I'm also planning on taking more stills of all the vendors,
right.
the actual vendors,
Hmm.
maybe with them holding a couple of watches and take some
Right.
nice stills of them. And I want to get more stills of you with the different vendors too, because I
Okay.
went through my photos today and I don't have as many with you in them.
Well,
And
I
I think that would
recommend
be
do it with my wife, who's much more appealing to the camera. So,
well, yeah, absolutely. But they do want to see the Stevester. We get a lot of
yeah,
requests for Steve. So,
yeah.
okay, we got another comment here. Steve, I have a G-Shock MRG collection that I would consider trading for some faux pay jewelry. Is that something we can negotiate at the event?
Uh, who is this? This is
What's a G-Shock MRG?
okay. I'm glad you mentioned that. So, MRG is the top of the line for G-Shock, not in many stores. And I have a piece right here. This is an MRG. And
Okay.
this is another announcement for the show. We will have every current MRG in stock. Okay, so
I'm going to put you full screen so they could
yeah,
see that a little bit better.
I don't have a
Yeah.
great setup for close up right now, but this is one of the pieces, and we will have I don't know 12 or 15. I forget what the exact number is in the store for the event and beyond. So we're going to
And
carry.
those are
This is
unusual pieces, I take
it.
it?
Well, it's the top end of G-Shock, and so this particular piece comes in at 3,000, and they go up to 7,000 or thereabouts. We've sold them in the past. We sort of lapsed a bit in the last couple of years with our involvement, and now we're full bore. We have a very large stock in store of G-Shock. We can always talk about the MRG trade, but during the event's probably not the best time to be dickering over trades. So if we could arrange that another time, be great.
Well, there you go. All right. Well, it sounds like some folks are chomping at the bit. And speaking of folks chomping at the bit, here's Durr. But before we have that, we
Uh-huh.
have one from Boozer. If I
Uh-huh.
bring my dogs to the event, can I have some of the catering food?
You are the dogs.
there, Durr says, trade in a Rolex 34 millimeter Oyster Petrol for a Grand Seiko Gold lion inspired by the name of Simba on top of the mountain of Fukushima in the summer sun at 3 p.m. I think he's trying to make a joke there.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lost Spring Bar,
So
that's a gorgeous piece.
Is there
Go ahead,
Stiefel
Steve.
coming to our event?
Yeah, let us know in the chat who's coming. Hey, come
Yeah.
on, guys. Who's gonna show up? That's a glorious piece, very high end, finished to Grand Seiko levels. So,
Mhm.
would you say that those G-Shocks are at that level? Those high end G-Shocks?
They are. They're very high end for what they are. I mean, they're
Okay,
very, very technical pieces. A lot of interesting materials. Um, they're fascinating, actually.
and
So
heavy duty, right?
very
That's
heavy
the
duty.
whole.
Yeah,
That's the whole reason for
yeah,
G-Shock, I think.
very heavy duty. And
Um, the Grand Seiko Lake Sewer dial is beautiful. Okay, somebody said.
lakes.
I hear the Ninja Turtles live in Lake. Jeez. Dur's
Okay.
trying to be funny here tonight. Okay,
Right.
so Steve, what is your experience with Oris Caliber 400 so far?
Experience is good, and very interesting movement. 10-year warranty on it, and 5-day power reserve, and sort of an accomplishment for the brand.
Okay, and here's another a comment. I'm wearing the MRG Hannah Becerra right now. What's that?
It's yeah, one of the models. Okay, great.
Okay.
Lustring, where you are
Um,
you in our vicinity? It sounds like you are. Where are you located?
he is, and that's a nom de plume. He's actually been to your events, but I'm not going to
Oh,
say his name because I'm not going to out him if he wants to
okay.
remain anonymous.
All right,
Um,
got it.
but that is not his actual name, believe it or
I
not.
I assumed
Springbar.
that. Okay.
Um,
Hey, Tim
Tim,
McDonald. Hi.
Tim in the house.
Yeah.
Um, welcome back to the show, Steve. Will Grand Seiko announce a new release just for the event?
I would wish they would, but they probably will not. But I may have one of these guys in they just arrived. This is the the Flame, the new Grand Seiko SBGA 493 spring drive, and unfortunately that
Well,
has
that
a
is
wrap.
nice.
It has a wrap on it, and it has a beautifully textured dial. And those little dots are not dust or specks; they're part of the wrap. But that's a customer's watch that's already ready to go out the door. Thought I'd show it to
Okay.
folks, and possibly we'll
And
have
so
one left.
you've got a multicam setup going right now, huh? You were able to switch over to that?
Uh, this is sort of a
How are
jury
you?
rig of my old setup, but my new setup,
Okay.
new
Okay.
setup will have 5 cams.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see what else. Let's catch up here. Kyle says, how many auto spring drives without the date exist?
Oh boy.
Automatic spring drives without the date.
Well,
I don't know if they have any. Do you?
uh, yeah, I
Aren't they
think
all
there
manual
are, but
wind?
I'm not going to be able to give you that number off the top of my head. That there are
That's
some.
going to be
Yeah,
a good question
yeah,
for
that's a
the
good.
GS rep. Is there going to
Yeah,
be a GS rep on
yeah.
Saturday?
Saturday, yes. Friday, someone has jury duty, and it's an if, may not have to report. So definitely Saturday.
But definitely Saturday. So that'd be
Yeah,
a good question for the GS rep
yeah.
that is there on the site. Okay, Tim McDonald GS will announce 70 new releases. Okay, I'll leave that up just long enough for people that have a sense of
Yeah,
humor to read. And then
right.
we'll go to Kyle. I'm sorry, Boozer. Steve, have you told GS to slim down their thick sport watches?
Oh, yeah, we talk about that from time to time.
I think none.
Yeah,
That is okay.
yeah.
So here's the thing. The 9F movement, the watches with the 9F movement tend to
Hmm.
be slimmer. And I'll tell you, I'm moving more and more towards being interested in the 9F. When I
Hmm.
first got interested in Grand Seiko, I had no interest at all. I think I told you the first time we met, no, I'm
Yeah.
not interested in that.
Hmm.
But I'm coming around that the 9F might be the way to go, period.
Okay.
Because you got
Interesting.
something that'll literally run for 50 years
Hmm.
with just battery replacements every 3 years.
Hmm.
It's not going to, it's just going to keep perfect time and keep running. And they're rugged, they're robust,
Yep.
they look great, and they're thinner.
And you're accurate as heck.
Yeah. So I'm really moving that direction. I love that my
Hmm.
spring drive watches, and no plans to change them, but
Hmm.
I'm definitely thinking about the 9F movement more.
All right. Well, take a look when you're here. We got a bunch, so should be no
Uh,
problem.
let's see what else we got here. Uh, talking about the bracelets. The bracelets are fine. A bunch of people in the watch community
Hmm.
poo-poo the GS bracelets, but I can tell you right now, the bracelet on my 231, where is it? Yeah. let me put my thing back on the screen. Wait, how come? Oh, I got to exit solo layout on you. There we go. Now I got it next to you.
Mhm.
That bracelet is super comfortable. It works great. It's
Yep.
held up great. It's 5 years of heavy use. It still
Mhm.
looks great. It has more flexibility. I think it's more comfortable than the Rolex bracelets. And the
Yeah.
fact that it has a big commercial looking, heavy duty looking uh, clasp, that goes with the whole diver watch
Mhm.
ethos, right? I mean that
Yeah.
balances the watch. I think it looks right. Just like a Toyota Land Cruiser looks great with a big bull bar on the front, right? I mean,
Mhm.
they're
Yeah.
designed to go through rugged stuff, and you put a bull bar on the front. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't understand the people have some issues with that, but I think the bracelets are fantastic. You know, Now that one in particular has adjustments, that I
Mhm.
adjust twice a year. Very easy spring bar adjustment.
Mhm.
And then I never have to do the links. I never have to put a link in or out. We
Yeah.
just did that once when you sized it
Yep.
for
I'm
me.
wearing this big chrono. Same story. Very comfortable. No complaints on my part. So
Now, does that have adjustments in the bracelet? I mean,
only
where you can,
only moving the spring bars.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that gives you
Yes, it does.
enough
Yeah.
season.
Oh, it's
That
plenty. It
gives you
gives
enough
you. That's like how many millimeters? Like
There's
six
like 4 of them,
millimeters.
right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, so that gives you enough adjustment seasonally when the weather changes. Do you
Hmm.
do yours in the fall? Do you
I
tighten yours up in the
no,
fall?
I never adjust it. I get sometimes when I wake up and wear it in the morning, it's a little snug, and then during the day it just evens out, and so I don't really have
Gotcha.
to adjust it. So
Gotcha. Well, you're always kind of in climate controlled areas, so it's not as big a deal. When you get out in the
mhm.
heat, that's when your wrists tends to
Yeah, yeah.
expand.
So,
Okay, so let's see what else we got here.
so Stig has a question about Breitling, and
As far as
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, we've been a Breitling dealer. Probably we're into our third year now. And to be honest, in the beginning, it was sort of slow. Uh, there's not a huge crossover between Breitling customers and some of the other brands I carry. And they've come out with some new models, and it's really picked up very nicely for us. So it's taken a while, but that's is also true of Omega. That when we brought it out in the beginning, um, a little slow, and then the volume picks up, the customer base picks up, and it's solid. So we're happy with the brand. The customers are happy. So
and Kyle says he found a watch with the same case and movement as the 002 that's in stainless steel with a green dial. Very cool. Where did you find it? Do tell. We
Japan
like
only.
details on this channel. We like details. It appears that Durr is moving down the wait list for Snoopy based on his profile photo. How can he go in the right direction?
Yeah.
Um, Craig, you should look at a GS9F movement on the 44 GS case. Beautiful design. Well, see, again, that a lot of the things I like about the 9F is no matter what case they're in, they tend to be thinner than the mechanical movement
Hmm.
watches, which
Yeah.
is, I think, a big plus. Okay, so
Hmm.
that 231 looks so shiny. Steve, does Craig know how to Ninjutsu polish watches? That watch looks so. Okay, so you can actually polish, and we'll talk about that in a second. You can actually polish these watches. Lost Spring Bar would love to hear Steve's opinion on the GS002 Stunner versus the new Rolex GMT Master 2 in yellow gold.
I have no opinion. Haven't followed the
You
Rolex
haven't seen the
myself.
GMT
No, no.
in yellow gold.
Yeah.
That's more of a sport watch. Okay,
Hmm.
so would Craig be turned away at the door if he shows up to the event wearing an Apple Watch?
If he has it on the other wrist, no problem.
I had
It,
an Apple Watch and it stopped working, but I had stopped wearing it before it stopped working. I wore
uh,
it for maybe 2 years. when I was covering a lot of events, it
Hmm.
was nice because when my phone would ring, and I'd always have a camera in my hand and my hands are full, right? I could
Hmm.
just look at the watch and see who's calling, right? To know is it something I really need to take. That
Right.
was the only real thing that I liked about it. But now my phone, when I'm at events, I always have it on mute. I don't take
Hmm.
any calls. And so it's really not an issue. So I
Yeah.
really don't need it.
Hang
Let's
on.
see.
Sorry.
It was a Chinese exclusive. Oh, so the one that Kyle found was sold in China? Okay,
Oh,
that's interesting. So Grand Seiko had some models that were just sold in China to Chinese
Chinese
customers?
market exclusive, huh? It'd be interesting to see a picture of that. You have that, or you just saw it?
I think he just saw it. I don't think he
He
bought one.
found a watch, so I don't know what that means. So love,
Yeah.
love to see a
But
picture, Kyle. See what that
yeah,
is
see, that's the
and a
thing on this
reference
channel,
number.
guys. We want details on this channel. Okay. We don't want like comments that are open to interpretation. We need to know the real deal here on this channel.
Hmm.
That's the difference between this channel and all the other watch channels is we get the details.
Hmm.
Okay. So speaking of details, oh, here we got another comment. Let's grab this. Oh, he'll send a photo. Kyle's going to send
Oh,
a
great.
photo. So we'll take a look
Okay,
at
so
that
you
when
do
I get
have
it.
it.
I have seen that one, Kyle. It's a beautiful piece. It's the SBGY 015. No, I
Hmm.
think he just has a photo of it. I don't think he bought it. Kyle, let us know in the comments if you bought it.
Hmm.
See here, this is the problem when we don't get the details is we all start speculating, right? So, um, what else was I going to say? Oh, the 002, Steve, let me tell you something.
Okay, tell me.
Once you get used to wearing the 002,
Uh-huh.
you will find even that your watch you're wearing now is titanium, right?
Yes.
You'll find even that watch, as comfortable as they are, like my 231 in titanium is very
Hmm.
comfortable on the wrist. There's no comparison. This thing disappears on
Right.
the wrist.
Well,
Once
yes.
that leather strap breaks into your wrist,
Hmm.
you don't even know it's there. You walk out and you think, "Oh man, I forgot my watch." And you look at your wrist and it's there. It's that
So
comfortable.
how long have you had that now? 3 years,
3
something
years,
like that?
I think.
And are you still on the same strap?
Yes, and that's the thing. All these
Yeah.
guys told me that the straps were gonna wear out and that, they get wet once and they're ruined and all this stuff. So I bought a bunch of extra straps, Steve, from
Not
a guy
Grand
that
Seiko
makes
straps. Oh, yeah.
no,
Okay.
this guy, remember we talked to
Yeah.
that guy and he made some demo straps to
Uh-huh.
copy the Grand Seiko,
Right. Right.
and they
Good.
were really good, really well done. That with
Uh-huh.
the folded edges, the whole bit, right? So
Yeah.
I think I have 4 of those now, 4 additional straps.
Hmm.
This is one of them. This is not the original GS strap. The GS strap is in the box, right,
Yeah.
preserved. But this is one of the ones the guy made, right?
Hmm.
And it's still perfect. It's still
Yeah.
perfect. It's
Great.
fine because the deployant, there's no you don't twist the strap around when you're
Hmm.
putting it on, right? You have to do with a normal clasp. So there's a lot less wear on that area of the strap. There's nothing to make it wear.
And you wear
And
it
so
pretty frequently, don't you?
a
And
lot.
yeah,
I wear it a lot.
that's good to hear.
And so that whole thing about straps not lasting is
Hmm.
a wives' tale. It's
Interesting. Well,
ridiculous.
with some
Now, I
brands, they
will
don't. So that's
I
true.
will tell you, Steve, that he did on purpose the leather that lines this strap.
Hmm.
He used a more durable leather. The Grand Seiko has that really soft leather inside,
Uh-huh.
and he said that is what will fail first. Um, and this is not as soft as that inside, but it doesn't
Hmm.
matter because once it forms to your wrist, it's still super, super comfortable.
Right.
And it's just he uses leather that is a little more robust. But I
Hmm.
think even
Hmm.
the Grand Seiko one would last a very, very long time
Yeah.
because just of the way the point clasp works, right?
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
taking all that, you know how you normally have to bend the leather to put it in a
Yeah.
regular
Yeah.
clasp?
Yeah. That's one of the
It gets rid of
benefits of
all that
those. Yeah.
wear. Yeah.
Good. Okay.
All right, let's see. We have some more comments here.
Hmm.
Okay. I'm going to check the email here in a minute. The GS GMT with the sapphire bezels is in the rotation smooth, or does it click? Okay, somebody had a question about that. Lost Spring Bar can answer that. I think he's seen one. I deeply regret trading my SBGY 002 for the Lange 1815 up down. Yes, that was the mistake of the century. Craig, is it true you turned down a solid gold Rolex GMT because the dealer only offered you $275 in trade on the 002? We need the details. No, actually, the AD that I bought my Rolex from, I had mentioned in passing that I thought that new gold GMT was really nice. It was a really nice piece. And they said, well, I've got one here on display, but it's not for sale. It's just display only and all this stuff, right? And so one of our wrench gang members actually went there and met Aaron that's down in Virginia and saw the watch, right? And so on. And I'm not going to say who it is. I'm not going to out him, but I think you know who it is. But anyway, he went there and looked at the watch, and then she contacted me and she said, all of a sudden, I have a watch for you. I have the watch here now, right? And I said, no, I'm not buying it now. You can just give it to the next person on the list, right? And but it's amazing how all of a sudden Rolexes are starting to become available. What does this tell us about what's happening to that Rolex bubble? So stay tuned on all that. More and more people are getting the call.
Interesting.
Okay, so here's something about the 9F. If the 9F movement is silent, I cannot stand hearing the quartz ticking when I'm trying to sleep. Is it silent, Steve?
With my hearing, I can't really tell you that. So
silent for you.
I've never heard anyone mention there's a sound coming from it.
I never heard mine.
I'll ask one of my young guys to take a listen.
I had one and I never heard it.
No.
So again, and Brianna doesn't complain. She's got it now and she doesn't complain about the clicking.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yes, that's the one. Email sent. Okay, we'll take a look at that.
Yeah.
Too expensive for steel, though. Okay. Craig Turfoss, the strap on the 002 used to actually be one of Bree's leather belts. No. I wish I had the skill to make my own straps out of belts, because I got a bunch of old belts, alligator, laying around that I could use if I had the skill. The 9F quartz are silent unless you hold it up to your ear, says Lost Spring Bar. Okay, let me pull up this email. I'm gonna make you full screen while I do this. You can keep them entertained, Steve, while I pull this up.
What are you? Oh, you're getting the photograph of it. Okay, so a couple of other fun things. You probably can't see this too well. This is a William Henry watch, and I don't know if you all know William Henry. They're the knife makers. They make the ones, the Damascus blades and exotic materials for the handle. And they've come out with a watch line. Let me squelch this. Hang on. I can't seem to kill this call. There we go. And this is a fossilized mammoth tusk dial, and you can't really see the details when you come into our show.
So the actual dial is made from mammoth
tusk. Yep, it's gorgeous, and the body is made with Damascus steel. It's a really, really interesting piece. So they've gotten into using their materials in watches, and there they have a looks like a Solita movement in the back. It's an automatic, and really gorgeous piece. So
and you'll have that at the show.
Yep, we have it here, and they have a whole line of really about 8 different pieces with different exotic materials, and pretty spectacular.
Here is the piece that
wow.
Kyle mentioned. Can you see it there?
Yeah,
that is stunning.
So we had that in 18 karat gold at one point.
That would be stunning in 18 karat gold for sure.
Yeah,
but for me, for a watch that you're going to keep for a long time, I stay away from the the wild colors like that. Just for me personally, because the it's just like if you buy a car that's a real flashy color, it's okay in the beginning and it's kind of cool and all that,
Mm,
but sometimes 10 years later, maybe you wanted something more conservative. So yeah, but that is stunning. And that would be stunning in 18 karat
mhm.
gold. Let's see what other comments we have here. Somebody's saying they want you to limit the watch allocation for them. Stan.
Oh, Stan, you're on open buy. Stan's wonderful. Okay. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I guess he's going to be when he comes there. You're going to tempt him with some watches. It looks like
Stan
that
knows what he
happens.
wants. He knows what he wants.
Okay.
Uh,
Um,
we're
Towson
hoping to
Watch
have them
Company.
here. Towson guys are a little squirrely about showing up sometimes. We will have probably 20 or 30 of their pieces here. And
Okay.
I'll use this to shame them into showing up. They usually come to our events, but they're a little cagey about specific commitments, these young guys. So,
Gotcha. And Durr says it's made from the tuxedo worn by a mammoth.
oh,
Okay.
jeez.
Um, Thank you, Lost Spring Bar. I am an automatic bloke, but I am being tempted by the 9F. Well, the really cool thing, Stig, about the 9F is it's a grab and go watch also. You
Hmm.
don't have to worry about winding it and setting it. If you set it down for a few days or whatever, I mean, it's always ready to go.
Hmm.
So that's another plus. There's a lot of pluses. You won't be disappointed by the 9F movement. It's the best quartz watch for a mechanical aficionado. Okay.
That's a
I
great
agree.
tagline. I thought I may steal that.
I agree. Well, and the
Yeah.
neat thing about the way it's designed, correct me if I'm wrong, is they've kind of separated the battery compartment from the movement
Yeah.
somewhat,
Uh,
so that
uh,
even if something went south with the battery and it
mhm.
leaked or something like that, you'd probably be salvageable, probably still be able to be serviced, and you'd probably
It's
still be
it's
okay.
absolutely in a different compartment, and you're not going to scoop out the guts of it the way sometimes happens with an inexperienced person trying to pop out a battery. So yeah, it's bulletproof.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right. Now here's a question about the Omega. Uh, will will a Naprober, I don't know who that is, be coming from the Omega team?
I don't know who that is.
Okay. But do you have an Omega rep
Yes,
coming?
yes, we do.
Okay.
On Friday, cannot make it on Saturday, unfortunately.
Citizen, you also deal with Citizen,
Hmm.
right? And they do
Yeah,
have an amazing quartz that
yeah. The
is more accurate than the best GS, right?
well, 1 second a year.
Yeah.
It's the caliber 001, and they came in the States 5 years ago or whatever, just I think 35 of them. And we sold 7 of them. We were the dominant player on those.
And that's all,
And,
that's it. There's no more.
uh, no, and I just met with this Citizen VP the day before yesterday, and we were talking about that. They have a new line of thin pieces, as thin. They're like 2 millimeters thick or less. Crazy. But they don't have the accuracy, and of course they don't have the traction that the 001 had. And 001 went for $7,000, and we had
Yeah.
no problem in selling those. And I still get
Yeah.
calls for them, and they've been gone for 2 years. Beautiful piece, really interesting. So
So
I hope they'll bring it back.
the Grand Seikos with the ones with the star on the dial,
Hmm.
the 9F movements with the star, they're like 5 seconds a year, I think,
Something like
something like
that.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
And most people say they're like 1 or 2 seconds a year in
Yeah.
real life. I mean, they're
Hmm.
just insanely accurate. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Let's see. There's another comment from Durr. Is it true Snoopy himself will be the Omega rep this year. You got to come to find out.
Ken
You got to
Soupy.
come
Well,
to find out.
we've been delivering some. Your time will come, there, Stiefel. Your time
Let
will
me
come.
put,
But you got to be a good boy on this channel.
yeah, let me try to put your
Yeah.
ticker up again. Let me get this, not ticker, your brand up. There we go. So people know where to go. They got to go to littletreasury.com, folks. This is not super complicated.
Yeah.
Go to littletreasury.com and you can sign up for the event. You can go to the event. You can get yourself a nice watch. Let me see. I'm going to show you what I have on my second monitor here. If I can pull this off. Present. Let's see here. Share screen. Here we go.
Okay.
Entire screen. Okay, I'm going to do screen 2. I'm going to share that. Okay, and now I'm going to try to go. Okay, that's pretty cool. I like the way it puts us on the side. So see what I have up on my second monitor now, Steve? What do you think about that?
Well, yeah, but where'd you get that one?
Isn't that something? Look at those.
Wow.
And on the picture on the left is being worn in a casual situation. And so this watch is very versatile. It can be worn with jeans and a t-shirt. It can be worn with anything. See, that's the thing. People act like a quote, dress watch. See, I think this watch has an edge over other watches. If you have a big, bulky sport watch, you can't really wear that with a suit or in a dress circumstance. It looks funky, right?
True.
It just doesn't look right, especially with formal attire. With this 002, you can wear that with anything. It's totally versatile. So I think it's got an edge on versatility. I think it's the opposite of what most people think. Most people think it's not as versatile. I will make the argument that it's more versatile because you can wear it in all those scenarios. So there we go. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And what else before we wrap this puppy up? Any other pearls of wisdom or any other is it going to be beautiful weather for the event in 2 weeks?
I certainly hope so. We've been very lucky in the past. We've had gorgeous weather, I think you remember. And if we're that lucky, it's going to be great. And just going to have a lot going on, a lot of interest already. We're a little late in promoting it, giving our efforts on our new space and our new website and all the other things going on. So talk it up with your friends and come on over. And
so
guys,
Durer Citizen has great quartz, but in my humble opinion, they do not have the personality style of the GS. And I don't think the design is as robust as the GS. I think that's the thing GS really has going for it. The 9F movement is really built to last. I should have never gotten rid of the O2. We already know that. We know that. Selling the O2 is a big mistake. Lost Springbar is telling the best jokes today. Okay. Yeah. All right. So are you going to come back to give us a last minute update next Friday?
I'll give it a try next Friday. What's going on? Okay, I will, but I'm probably
you
not
don't
the
have to
full
commit.
hour.
Yeah, you don't have to commit. We're going to be talking about it either way.
And I may have some updates, a little more tidbits on what's going on. Okay.
Yeah. So you just pop in for a short while. Anything else that we need to know about?
Just sign up. It's going to be a great time. Great food as usual, and got some new staff that some of you haven't met before. Very knowledgeable watch people, and I think you enjoy meeting them.
LittleTreasury.com, folks. Be there or be square.
Okay, love it. All right.
Thanks for coming on, Stevester.
Thank you. Have a good evening, everyone.